Hey guys, I missed everybody. Happy Friday. Hello to my babes and barbs. Let me try to move this back a little bit. I have to have it on the charger because the lives kill the phone batteries and we don't want to get cut off. How is everybody? I hope everybody had a good week and I hope you can all hear me okay as well because we're in the Mercury retrograde pre-shadow phase and this one's been super glitchy so far, but we will get through it, right? Hey Hondro, hey young Nicholas, hey Bubbles, hey Michael, hi KLD. If anybody is watching that is unable to comment, you just have to subscribe to be able to do so, because every time I go live, if I don't put it on subscribers only, then my mods spend way too much time trying to get rid of bots. So we just do that to keep them out. Hey Talia, hey Cookie, how is everybody? Hi Sissy, how are you? Hey Dario. So we'll start with Nikki first, but we'll let more people get in before we start on questions. We'll leave Carlos last and let her fall behind because, you know, she's always following behind the queen anyway. Plus, I just did a reading on her, so I was like, you know, we probably won't have a bunch of questions about her, and Nikki's the most important anyways. Yes, I used Yolanda Saldivar's picture for Carlos's because her behavior reminds me of Yolanda Saldivar's. Like, I used to call her Yolanda Saldivar granddaughter because I was like, her grandma, the dark-skinned one that she talks about, looks like Yolanda Saldivar. But I was like, you know what? Let's just upgrade it and call her Yolanda Saldivar Jr. because she acts like Yolanda. She's a crazy stalker at this point, right? So let's just call a spade at this point. So I think she does KLD actually. But yeah, she's definitely a wackadoodle. Hey, Pink Flames. So, you know how it is. We tell the truth over here. We don't be sugarcoating shit. Nobody's kissing anybody's ass. She definitely has the stalker behavior down pat. Hey, Kimberly. So just remember, we're only doing questions about Nikki and Carlos. Listen, this is the thing, Bubbles, that I was saying to somebody else the other day, is that everybody in Hollywood lies about their age. You know, they'll be 36 and claim they're 27. And so I was like, I wouldn't be surprised if they don't also lie about their birthday too, because, you know, they all do spiritual things. I mean, and we know that Cardi downright does like voodoo and stuff trying to stop Nicki, and because of that, it's like I wouldn't be surprised if they don't choose different birthdays because the numerology and astrology, you know, works better for them for some reason. Let me fix my light because it's tipping over. And I don't want it to fall in the middle of us talking. So I don't think that's much better, but no, she definitely does not act like a Libra at all. Libras, because we're air signs, once, like, we don't get obsessive about stuff. The only things that we get obsessive about is like trying to reach our goals. But people get mad at us because they think that we're like unemotional and like we move on, and they say like, oh, y'all can just choose to stop caring about something. So that's why I'm like, she doesn't act like a Libra. So and hey Queen, welcome. Hey Celestial. Oh, thank you so much. yeah, Doja acts much more like a Libra to me in that sense. Especially the way that she'll like just troll people back and stuff, but she kind of doesn't take things like, you know, overly sensitive and serious. Because I was just like, I don't know Libras that get online and freaking fight with everybody and go on all these crazy rants the way that she does either. So, oh, thank you so much, Celestial. And listen, the Barbs will always be, you know, not that anybody who doesn't follow me isn't special, but the Barbs as a fan base will always be my favorite fan base, and I will always show love to you guys and do special things for you like extra lives and whatnot, because when I started on YouTube, they're the ones that got me monetized and helped boost my channel and all of that. So they're an incredible fan base. Nikki is so lucky to have them, and I'm lucky to share. And I really appreciate all of you and love you all so much. So yeah, I just saw that right when I was getting on live too, that Doja said that she's gonna come with the fire, and I was wondering if she's gonna actually like get on wax and diss some of these girls or something and really like shock the hell out of everybody. Oh my god. Wait, she has a documentary coming out on Tubi? Tubi. Y'all, do you see how far her star has fallen? Because, you know, I know that Nicki has changed homes of where her documentary was supposed to be on, and she's obviously held it back for, you know, certain reasons, but Nicki would never let her documentary end up being on Zeus or Tubi of all places. And, you know, for somebody who's supposed to be a mega superstar, you couldn't at least get Hulu? I'm sorry, but that is hilarious. Tubi? Is she gonna air right after Tokyo Tony? Oh my god. And if you hate somebody so much that you don't want to be associated and compared with them, why would you want that person being mentioned in your documentary? And why wouldn't you just make your documentary completely all about you? So, oh my goodness. Let me see. I'm trying to read. I have the laptop here so I can read the comments because I can't see them all the way on the phone right there unless we're going to go blind. Oh, I love the mob gangs too. And I love Millie. She's been so supportive and sweet as well. Carlos says that it was TMZ and Carlos wasn't involved in it. Oh my goodness. Exactly. Ever since Nicki did say that she was doing her documentary, now all of a sudden everybody's got one coming out. Yeah, I know, guys. I was just like, she does not act like a Libra. Whatsoever. I heard that she was on Station Head the other night and couldn't even hold 1,000 followers, and I was like, dude, even I can get 1,000 people to watch a video. So, and I don't have millions of people following me on any platform. And I bet you probably a lot of the people that were listening were Barbs that were just spying to see what she was gonna say so that they could go talk about it later. So, but this is the thing that I will say about Carlos is she doesn't have a real true fan base, you guys. She just has people that don't like Nicki. And same thing with Lotto. Same thing with Megan. And that's why, you know, like, they'll get on social media and hype them up, but then when they release anything, nobody buys it, nobody listens, nobody supports it, because guess what? When people are only following you and getting in your ear because they want you to go after somebody that they don't like, why are they going to stream your stuff or pay their hard-earned money to support you? Because they don't care. So it's sad, but it's like, that's what happens when you try to build your career off of the back of hating somebody else, rather than actually trying to really build a career up and develop your fan base. Because look at how Nicki built her fan base from the ground up on MySpace, on Twitter. She was active. She was communicating with the Barbs. She was super involved with them. And that's why no matter what the industry does to her, she still gets, makes money off of everything she does. I mean, she sold out a Fendi collection. It's not like these were $20 t-shirts. And to have a lot of people be willing to spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to support you, even Beyonce couldn't do that. And that's why her Ivy Park, collection with Adidas didn't work out. And Nicki's Fendi collection cost way more than even Ivy Park did. So that shows you who has a real, true, strong fan base, and it's not just bots and payola behind them. Oh, thank you, Big Barbie. Oh, she's so insecure too. I mean, I heard like some of the clips of what she was saying, and that she was going to that she was having a hard time putting out her music and that she's insecure about it. But then she was also complaining that like everybody copied her and that she opened doors. It was like, you opened doors for mediocrity. We wouldn't have Clayco Karen. We wouldn't have, Carisha. We wouldn't have certain people that we're all getting shoved down our throats right now in the industry if Carlos hadn't made mediocrity a thing. So, that's the only thing that she opened a door for, but she didn't open doors for anybody else. And I'm so tired of the narrative of making it seem like Nicki beefs with women and that she never supports women. Can we put that to bed? First of all, when Nicki was reigning supreme for, the beginning when she came out, there was no other female rappers. The only two that there were, there was like the older legends, but they weren't working with her. The only two that wanted to work with her and that weren't intimidated by her was Trina and Foxy. But there wasn't other women rappers that she could have even collaborated with at that time. So she collaborated with the men because that's all there was. She did a lot of pop songs and a lot of other genres of music with females. She's always worked with females. And if Nicki was gonna hate women, wouldn't she just hate all women? Like, that doesn't make any sense. So just because Carlos jumps on other girls to ride their wave, which is an entirely different thing, does not mean that Nicki is a bully. She's the one who's been getting bullied. So, see, she did 13 female collabs last year. Like, is that somebody that doesn't, support other women? No, it's not. And she works with Carlos. That's the thing. She gave Carlos a shot. She was shouting her out and supporting her when she came into the game. Nicki didn't turn on her. Carlos turned on her. And people forget that and just make it this narrative that Nicki was jealous of her and went after her. And I'm like, why would Nicki be jealous of somebody that doesn't have any talent, though? Like, wouldn't you actually have to feel like, oh, this person's better than me in some way to be jealous of them? Hey, Onika Mirage, welcome, babe. I missed you too. So, okay, let's talk about the YoungBoy and Nicki song, and then we'll get into some questions. I loved her verse on it, and she was so cute as a ballerina, you guys. I was like, how did I know? I never knew that I needed ballerina Nicki, but now that I got it, I'm like, I want more ballerina Nicki. Although I guess she kind of did do the well, she kind of did, but didn't do like ballerina visuals. And what was it? Was it Pink Friday when she had her legs crossed and they were like stretched out in the pictures? But this was like real ballerina Nicki. And it wasn't what I expected at all, but I loved it. And listen, I don't listen to YoungBoy unless she's on it. The only YoungBoy songs I've ever listened to are the ones that Nicki's been on it. But I like them together. They do make heat together. And YoungBoy is another person that has a real true fan base that, again, the industry messes with him all the time. But yet his fan base, is right behind him and keeping him going the whole time. I don't know, Michael. I don't think that she kept her verse short because he's on Atlantic, because her verse on, what do you call them? The Speed About song wasn't shortened and he's been on Atlantic. I think it was a shorter song. Because if you guys haven't noticed, people have been putting out really short songs lately. Like, all the songs on Chloe Bailey's album were really short, too. I think that's just the way that the industry has been moving right now. If she had an issue with, him being on Atlantic, I don't think that she would have, been on the song at all anyways. So, oh, he's with Motown now? Awesome. Like I said, I don't pay any attention to him unless he has something going on with Nicki, so I didn't know he switched, but that's good for him. I'm sure Atlantic is shitting themselves though, because he brings sales. Like, you have to give him that. He brings sales and streams. So I know I do miss the extended songs. Everybody's attention is so short these days because short content is what people push. So it's hard to keep people's attention. So that's why I feel like, the industry is pushing people to make shorter songs for that. And also so that verses can be clipped down in order to utilize them in a way that makes sense on TikTok, and then take advantage of things trending on TikTok to then get people to go back and stream it again. So, oh, do you think Carlos ever made the money? They're gonna expect to make their money back on her if she ever puts this second album out. And listen, guys, and I just have to say this, and then we'll get into the Nicki questions. So while I say this, here's the rules for the questions, guys, because I try to make it fair so everybody can get a question in, and also so I don't get my brain fried. When you put a question in the chat, put question in caps in front of it so it doesn't get lost in the sea of comments. If you really want to make sure that your comment sticks out, you can put a super sticker, a super chat. You don't have to, but if you want to, it's greatly appreciated. I will tell you, to hold the questions from time to time so that way I can get through the ones that are already up and try to make sure everybody gets a question answered. So you can go ahead and start dropping questions while I just say this part of things. Do you guys, if you ever watched The Real Housewives of Atlanta, do you remember when Kim went on her tour and she was making this big old deal about it and acting like she was gonna do this like worldwide arena tour. And then Nene showed up and she was like, Kim is doing tours in strip malls. And I found that clip on Instagram and I sent it to a couple of the Barbs and I was like, why does this remind me or make me feel like this is Carlos on this upcoming tour that she's supposed to do that never ends up happening? And then I was like, oh my God, she's the Kim Zolciak of rap. When you think about it, she's literally Miss Tardy for the Party of rap. And then I was like, she should make her lead single for her album a Tardy for the Party remix, but spell it Party, P-A-R-D-I, because we know he's going to write whatever she raps anyways. But she can use that as her excuse or explain away why she is tardy for the party and it took her 153 years to put out her sophomore album. Honestly, you guys, not only would it fit her perfectly, but at this point, I guarantee you, people would be way more into that and more excited about it than hot shit. Because I was thinking when they announced that she's headlining Summer Jam, I was like, what in the F is she gonna perform all of her old ass songs and Tomorrow too again? Tomorrow been done and gone, girl. It's yesterday at this point. Like, find something new. And it's like, when is it? It's like in June or something. Like, she better get on that shit and drop something so she actually has something to perform and promote there. So, guys, make sure your questions are specific too, because Sissy just saying what's in store for Nicki's career could mean literally anything, and we'll be here all day just answering that one thing. So make it more specific so that way I can make sure that I can get to more people's questions too, please. Oh, and then 2 other things. Don't ask it about anybody being on any kind of substances. We're not allowed to talk about stuff like that anyways on here, but you know, that's a mental health issue. We're not going to beat people up for stuff like that. And secondly, no pregnancy questions. We've already more than talked about Nicki will have more children in the future, but Spirit has said don't touch it any further, since we do know that there's people in the industry that do witchcraft against her, and the last thing that we would ever want to do is say, oh, this or that very big blessing is happening, and then have somebody use that to attack her. Because guess what? Carlos and them definitely watch these videos so that way they can see what's coming, so they can try to prepare themselves. So, and then make sure just to put question in the front of anything, guys. So, and honestly too, if I was Glorilla, I would be pissed that you're making this seem like it's your song. Like, it was cute at first, but at this point too, I'm sure Glow would like to move on from that song and have other things that she puts out blow up, and not have Carlos keep running around performing her song like it's hers. So we're doing Nicki questions right now, guys. We'll do Carlos at the end. Because she's not that important. Nicki is. So let's see. Let me just scroll through so I can find some of these questions. Okay, the Kim Petras song, that's gonna blow up, you guys. Because Kim has a really strong fan base herself that she's building up. And it's super smart that I was thinking this too the other day when I heard the little sample, or that they used that sample. It's gonna blow up because that's such, like, even for my age group, because I'm, you know, the same age as Nicki. I was born before her. So that's such a nostalgic song for us. And that song was so popular at our time, but it's got that EDM pop sounds. That song's gonna be huge. So I'm excited for that one, and I'm really excited to hear it. Whoa. And then Bubbles, how does Nicki really feel about YoungBoy, and do they have a collab album coming soon? I feel like Nicki really loves YoungBoy. She really does. She loves working with him. She looks at him like he's like a little brother to her. And she has a lot of respect for him and his craft and how he goes about stuff. So I do feel like they'll probably have a collab album come out, but Spirit's saying both of them have solo projects that they want to drop first. So if we do get one, I don't think that's what drops first. I think it's probably more like maybe like next summer or something. Will Nicki and Rihanna collab again? Let me see. I just keep feeling like with Rihanna, like she's just kind of in this space where like she did whatever music that she did, but it's like she doesn't have any urge to do any more music anytime coming up. So let me ask the cards, but I'm getting a no on that. But it's not because Rihanna doesn't want to work with Nicki. I think it's more just like Rihanna just doesn't feel like doing music right now unless it's something that she really, really wants to do. Honestly, I kind of feel almost like Rihanna like doing the like performances that she did and the songs that she did, almost like it was her goodbye for at least for a while. To the music side of things, no. But again, it's Rihanna doesn't want to really work in the music industry right now. How will Nicki's label do, and will all the artists she signs blow up and do well? Let's see. Nicki's label gonna do, and then hold the questions, guys, so I can just make sure I get through the ones that are up right now, and then I'll take more in a bit, but I want to make sure I can get through these ones first. Oh, and by the way, happy belated birthday to Nicki, not Nicki, to Kenny Petty. I don't care. I love me some Kenny Petty. He is an innocent man who was wrongly accused, and I pray every single day for his justice and exoneration. And if y'all ever wanted to know, you can go back and look. I've done some Who is Kenny Petty Really readings, and Spirit likes him. And it's actually really sad what happened to him. So, and he obviously makes Nicki very happy. We are not hating over here on Mr. Petty. Okay, she's definitely, okay, the difference, I just want to say this. You guys hold the questions, okay? Let me get to the ones that are already up, and then I'll take more, but hold the questions for right now. Unlike Parkwood, that was just kind of like, oh, just go record some songs in your house, Chloe, and then we'll, you know, give you 3.5 hours to like make some music videos and send the dream over to clean it up. Not that I'm, we all know, if you watched my video about the whole Chloe Bailey situation, Parkwood's just not putting enough effort and attention into her. Nicki will not be that. This is showing up as, because this is Nicki's passion project. She loves music. She's always wanted to support other artists and help them build their careers. She's going to pour a lot of her energy into her artists and really make sure that they're getting all of the support and resources that they need in order for things to work. Spirit saying, really, if any of these artists don't get successful because of this, it's a lack of their own stuff, not because of Nicki not doing enough for them. But I do feel that there is one in particular. I mean, they're all going to have some good success, but there is one in particular who's really going to blow up. And this is also going to change the narrative around, oh, Nicki doesn't do this and Nicki doesn't do that, when all of a sudden it's like she's getting compared to Lil Wayne and the Young Money crew that he had, with her and Drake and Tyga and everybody, where they dominated the 2010s and then 2000s. So this is going to be big for her and for everybody involved. So again, if it doesn't work out for people, it's because they're lazy and they're not doing what they should to make the most of the opportunity. But Nicki's going to be behind them and really pushing for them. And I do feel like there is particularly a female and a male on that roster that are both going to really, really blow up big on that. She's going to sign more people than we know about or have heard about yet as well. So, let's see. Is Nicki and Kim Petras song going to be a hit, #1? Okay, listen. Spirit kind of doesn't want me to answer that question because they don't want some people to be lazy. If that makes sense. Like, we all have to make sure that we're supporting everything, okay, guys? And this is the thing, too, that Spirit was telling me that I forgot to say before I got on here. We have the opportunity right now this month and going forwards to have Nicki on the charts dominating the top 10 with 3 different songs right now. And shit, we could even do it if we all go back and start restreaming any old song too. Look at Tory's fans. They got his songs recharting. So we need to do that. We got to support the NBA song. We got to support Red Ruby to Sleeves, and we have to throw our energy behind the Kim Petras song too. But sometimes people get lazy and they just think, oh, well, it's going to be a hit, and then they don't do everything, and then they kind of just count on the main Barbs to do it. But we all got to do it together. And this is the other thing too that I saw somebody made a comment somewhere about what the BTS fans do. They're like, they will never publicly criticize anything that BTS does. They support the hell out of it. And if they do think this song wasn't it, or you should worn a different outfit or whatever, they will directly tell the group, because they do have group chats with them. We have to start doing stuff like that with Nicki, because even if you don't love everything that she does, when people see her own fans saying, well, I didn't like that dress, or like, why'd you sing with this person? Then it gives an opening to other fan bases to shit on her even more. So it's just, no, stream and support, because we want her to have her redemption period, because she's been so fucked over by this industry. And it's time to show them that it doesn't matter what bullshit they pull against her. There's always going to be people supporting her. And if you don't like something that she did, keep it in a group chat away from everybody else. You can have quiet discussions amongst yourself, but it doesn't need to be public anymore. So, you know, and look at BTS. They blow the F up out of everything that they do, their fans. So we can learn from that. Yeah, I definitely think that the Kim Petras and Nicki song is definitely going to be like a summer anthem. And it's funny because Kim's very much a Barbie type looking girl too, so I think it's a perfect fit. Also, I know that Warner is putting out the Barbie movie, and this is nothing against Issa Rae, but wouldn't it have made way more sense to put the actual Barbie Nicki Minaj in the movie, or added a character for her? Like, you didn't have to get rid of Issa, but made it musical Barbie and put Nicki in there. That would have made way more sense to me. And also, I don't think Ryan Gosling reminds me of a Ken doll. I think Ryan Gosling is cute, but for some reason, him being Ken, it's just, I don't know, it just didn't fit for me. Let me see. Okay, so as far as the Ice Spice stuff goes, I mentioned that in the actual reading I did on Ice Spice on the channel already, so I'm not going to go too deep into that so I can answer other questions. But Spirit saying Nicki likes Ice Spice, and she likes the fact that so far she hasn't done what all the other girls do, which is, oh, Nicki didn't blow up my phone to work with me, so screw her, I'm going to go like get on Carlos's side now. I do feel like Nicki would be open to working with her. However, there's two things that she's waiting on. Number one, she feels like Ice needs to step up her stage presence and her rap skills first, which understandable. And number two, because she has been so burned by so many of these new girls turning on her for Carlos, and Ice Spice is going to be doing Summer Jam with Carlos, I feel like Nicki is sort of waiting that one out and being like, let's see if you start acting different and funny after that. If you stay the same, then we can talk, but I'm not getting burned anymore by you new girls. So, and make sure you guys like the live, please. We have 89 people in here and 29 likes. I would appreciate some more likes because, you know, last year I didn't get to do as many videos or be on camera as much, so I've been honest that my algorithm and analytics got messed up, and so the likes definitely help to push things back up again. And it's a free way to support the channel. Okay. Do we think we'll get Nicki's NM5 this year? I still do at this point. This is the thing, guys, because, you know, when we're doing readings like this, especially around timing, that can definitely change. But Spirit is saying as of right now, yes, we're looking at late summer. But if she gets winds that they're going to try to make this another Queen album situation, she'll hold off. Because I do feel like there was a couple times that she was ready to move forward, and then she heard that people were conspiring to mess with her and mess with the album rollout. And so she pulled back on that. So, which you can't blame her for that. Because they really did screw up everything that they could for her last time. And let's be honest, you know, I mean, I know she talked about having mental health in her Vanguard Awards speech, but Spirit saying she really does have PTSD from what the industry has done to her. So it's not that she's Carlos, where it's like she has such a lack of confidence now that she doesn't want to put stuff out. It's more, I just want to make sure that I'm protecting myself and everything that I do going forwards so that I don't have to go through that again. Let's see. Will Nicki ever collaborate with Monica? I feel like Monica's, yes, but Spirit's saying it'll be on Monica's album, not on Nicki's. Does Nicki have any other major projects coming up this year? Yes, you guys expect that we're going to get a couple brands deals with her, like big ones. And I just want to say this, because I've seen this too from some of the Barbs. We don't want Nicki to do a McDonald's collab. First of all, we don't want to encourage anybody to eat that garbage food. But secondly, why would we want her to do a McDonald's meal after Carlos did it? Like, come on. Well, if she's going to do anything else, I think that it would make so much sense if when she goes on tour, she does a campaign with Red Lobster. Everybody knows that Nicki and Red Lobster have a big history together, and that would make so much freaking sense rather than some random ass McDonald's deal, because when has Nicki ever really sat there and talked about McDonald's or been associated with it anyways? But, and I was, you know, how cute would it be too that like all the Barbs, like especially like when she's gonna go back out on tour, we could have Barb meetups at Red Lobster before the concerts. Like, I know, of course, Garbage Gang would think that they're going to be cool and be like, we're going to go eat all the lobsters and crab legs so the Barbs can't get them like they did with the Rap Snacks. But I just think that would be so cool because they could make like signature drinks and then like, a Nicki's favorites meal, you know, because I know that she likes the shrimp. And she always says that she doesn't only want cocktail sauce with her shrimp, she also wants tartar sauce, so that could be a part of it. Because this is Nicki, for God's sake. She is much higher class than fast food and Fashion Nova. This is the woman that sold out a Fendi collaboration. She can do a Red Lobster deal. That's what I want and I'm hoping for. I will go eat it. I will go eat all the damn Cheddar Bay biscuits in honor of Nicki. So, see, I was gonna say, yeah, Chili's did a Barb Day too, but I was like, how much fun would that be for us, you guys? Like, we could do like a whole Barb meetup, especially if she comes to San Jose or even Sacramento. Like, I'll call and hold all the damn tables at the nearest Red Lobster for us. It was like, poor Red Lobster, they're gonna have all these Barbs in there with pink wigs on, live streaming everything. Being hell loud, they're gonna, nobody else is getting in the restaurant those nights. But I do feel like we're gonna see her in some more fashion brands collab type things as well. So that would be fun. It was like, are any of you guys in the Bay Area or Sacramento? I was like, because either one would be. Because I kind of live in between the two. So I was like, I could go either way on that one when the time comes. But we will definitely go and we will have the time of our lives, you guys. So let's see. Oh, they're always so cute with Papa Bear. And Nicki's new house looks so beautiful, you guys. Oh my God, all the pictures in the backgrounds. That closet That's like a dream come true closet. It literally looks like a Chanel boutique. I was like, oh my God, when I saw it. And then people, at first I didn't know like what was going on. And then like I looked at the comments and everybody was like, oh my God, your new closet. And I thought she was in like a new store that was opening. And then I went back and read the caption where she said Papa Bear is going to be trying to mess up this closet like mommy's last one. And I was like, oh my God, that is so beautiful. It's like one of the best closets I've ever seen. Will Nicki become a billionaire in 5 years? Yes. And listen, Nicki has some business stuff in the works that she hasn't talked about with anybody yet either. So she's got something that she's working on. Spirit's saying, you know, obviously like her team and people will come to her constantly and be like, why don't you do, you know, a makeup line or lashes? And it's kind of like she doesn't want to just do the same things that every other celebrity is doing just for the sake of doing it, because it's like that's an over saturated market. I want to do things that are different. But Spirit saying she's working on some stuff right now. And again, Spirit saying we can't really talk about that thing because we don't want anybody trying to F with it. That's the thing that sucks, because she has, you know, people who like to spy. So some things Spirit's just like, I'm not going to tell you for her own protection because we want it to work out. Yeah, at this point, Danielle, I don't really think that anybody's super... I think we can tell that Rihanna's, you know, over music, because if she was still super into it, she would have put something out by now. And I mean, honestly, if you're considered a billionaire off of panties and makeup, why would you, and you get to basically, you know, spend most of your days at home with your baby and make way more money, and you're burnt out on the music industry anyways, like, you can't blame her. I mean, I wouldn't want to do it either. So, oh, Nicki's doing the soundtrack to the new Hunger Games movie. That's awesome. Sorry, I'm like scrolling down now because I was trying to read all the questions. So let me catch up on some of the comments. Okay, you guys can drop questions now. Dude, I mean, and that's the reason why you guys can put your questions back up. That's the reason why Rihanna is so burnt out on the music industry, because look at what happens, you know, with the anti-rollout and everything that, you know, happens with that. I would be pissed too, because she put so much like hard work and effort into that, and it was still a banger. But it's, and you know, I kind of think it's almost karma to Jay too, the way that people still like love that album and consider it to be a classic, with the way that they leaked it on her, because they purposely did. It was really jacked up, and I think that she's just at a point where she doesn't trust them. You know, it's like, I'm stuck like having to get along with you, and I don't want to get on your bad side, and I do want to have a good relationship with you, but deep down inside I can't trust you. So, and hang on one second, guys, because for some reason it disconnected the chat, so I'm waiting for it to pop back up again. Okay. Will she go on a world tour or USA? Spirit said world tour. Bia and Nicki are fine. They still have a good relationship. And I do feel like they talk behind the scenes. And Spirit said that Nicki likes, you know, what Bia's doing. Why haven't Nicki and Kendrick Lamar collabed yet? I don't feel it has anything to do with Drake. Spirit saying it's just more so because, you know, Nicki's very picky about making sure that any song that she gets on, that she feels like it's the right thing for her, it's the right thing for the other artist, and that it's the right thing for the song. And I just feel like, you know, and Kendrick's pretty much the same way. And so Spirit's saying that the two of them just haven't, you know, had that one song that both of them are like, yeah, this is the one we should do together. How well will WTF do? It's going to do really good. But remember, we can't be lazy. We have to stream. We have to buy. We have to support, guys, because this next, you know, 4 to 6 weeks is our opportunity to really make Nicki dominate the charts and show all these bozos who's really the queen. So we got to stay on it. What does Nicki think of Baby Tate? I don't get that she even pays attention or her to have an opinion one way or the other. I mean, Nicki doesn't sit on Instagram and Twitter and YouTube looking up all these people all day long. If she does ever, like Spirit saying, if you ever see Nicki make a comment on like the Shade Room or really respond to anything on social media other than just posting on her own page, it's because Tay or somebody else on her team was like, look at this, and she chose to respond to it. But Spirit saying, you know, she's so busy with the people that she signed to her, with making her own music, with being a mom, with all of the things that she's getting paid to do, that she doesn't have time to be sitting there being like, well, who's out right now? And let me see what they're up to. So she's not, you know, worried about all of that. Let's see. Yeah, hold on to the questions for a minute, guys. Let me see. Let me go through some of these first. As Papa Bear gets older, will it be more and more difficult for Nicki to keep him out of the public eye? And will his childhood be as normal as possible? No, I feel like Nicki's going to do everything that she can to protect him. And, you know, obviously Kenny's very protective too. So Spirit's saying they have, you know, they'll have good plans in place. He'll obviously go to like certain private schools, and you only really see him when she chooses to share him, like she has already. So I don't feel like, you know, it's going to be any more difficult than it has been so far. And I do feel like, you know, that's really, she obviously wants to give him a way better childhood than she had, because we all know that she went through a lot as a kid. But I do feel like, you know, she also wants it to be really normal for him also. I mean, that's the thing that you have to, when you think about, it's like both Nicki and Kenny like grew up really rough. So I feel like both of them are really, really dedicated to making sure that, like, you know, he's not overly spoiled, but that he has him and any other children they have in the future, like, have a really good, solid childhood. Nicki's gonna get more number ones, guys. But remember, it also depends on us. How is Nicki and Drake's relationship right now? Spirit's saying it's, I feel like, you know, with her and him, it's always back and forth. Nicki knows deep down inside, like, I can't ever trust you again. But you know what? Spirit's saying, let me back this up. There's a lot of people in the industry that have figured out, don't ever trust Drake. Because look at how he made this big old spectacle of making up with Kanye, only to turn around and be like, oh, well, that was fake. It was just so that we could do this fundraiser. And now he's, you know, unprompted, putting out a song where he's, you know, throwing jabs at Kanye, talking about his divorce, and then making all the visuals look like he's riding around with Kim. And Drake is known for, like, constantly, like, backstabbing people and being petty and starting beefs with them just so that way he can get attention for his next project. And I feel like, you know, there's a lot of people in the industry that are just like, smile and wave, but don't ever, like, you know, not keep looking behind you to make sure that Drake isn't coming, because they all kind of feel like he's a bit of a snake when it comes down to it. And if it benefits him, he'll turn on you in a second. And Nicki is definitely one of those people. It's like, I'd rather be on your good side, just because, like, why would I want to beef with you anyways? But I can't let my guard down around you either. So Bubbles, I already answered your questions about Nicki's management company, because somebody else asked it earlier. Oh, Nicki totally believes that Tory's innocent. And you guys, I've said this in a few videos too. Everybody in the industry knows. Why do you think none of these industry people came out in support of her? There was a few bums here and there that said something, but for the most part, how come not one big person came to back her up and say, wow, that was really wrong and we're sorry about what happened to you, Megan? Nobody has ever done that. Even after he was convicted, nobody said anything. Because they all know, Joe Budden said on a podcast one time that people in the industry have heard what really happens and they've seen videos and stuff. And so, you know, Nicki is still part of the industry. She still has people that have said, hey, guess what? Megan lied, and look at what Megan did to Nicki. Even if people in the industry didn't tell Nicki that Megan lied, we just as human beings see through that. Nicki's own husband has obviously gone through something where a woman wrongly accused him of something he didn't do. And on top of it, look what Megan did to Nicki. And I'm sorry, but that story about Megan wanting Nicki to drink on the set and then telling her it's okay, you can just go to the clinic in the morning. When you literally just said, oh, me and my husband are trying for a baby so I could possibly be pregnant, so I don't want to drink right now. Oh, girl, it's okay, just go to the clinic in the morning. Why would you tell somebody who literally just said, we're trying to get pregnant, to get rid of it? Like, that's how trashy you are and what a horrible person that you are, because you should never tell anybody to do that anyways. But especially when that person literally just told you, we want to have a child, and you're like, drinking is more important to you. You have no soul. I honestly believe at this point she is soulless. So, because it's just between saying things like that to people and then what she did to Tory, you literally have to have absolutely no soul. that you can do those things and then still walk around smiling in everybody's faces and acting like you're completely fine. You're not a good person. So why did Nicki tweet that Ice Spice lyric? She was just showing support to her. I don't feel like this is Nicki's last album in tour era. I think we get one more after this. And then I feel like she's going to completely move more into acting because it'll just be easier for her, like being a mom, especially too once Papa Bear starts going to school. Like when he's little like this, like you can take him with you most places. But once he starts going to school, like, you know, you can't rip him out of school so that you guys can go to South Africa so mom can perform. And she's such a hands-on mom that's going to be, you know, kind of hard for her, like, to have to, you know, be like, I have to be away from him. So that's why I've always said that I feel like as her kids get older, we'll see her move into acting just because it's more of a day job type of a situation. And then regardless of if it's a TV or movies, you're only on set filming each thing for however many months at a time, and then you have longer breaks in between so she can be with the kids more. But I do see her on like having her own TV show in the future. I keep feeling like it might be something that's more on that like serious side, like any of the shows basically that 50 Cent does. Ooh, could you imagine Nicki in like a power type of a show? That would be so dope, you guys. I got chills down my spine like imagining her walking around and being like, yo, Tommy, what's the price of Coke at this morning, huh? Especially because I forgot he was in the music video with Lil Baby. Juicy and his views were low as hell 12 hours later. Who's Juicy? I think I missed something. BB. Yeah, Drake is such a snake. Hey, Carson, I'm just glad you made it. Will Nicki, listen, this is the thing, because I see where it says, will Nicki ever forgive Megan or even Cardi? Spirit said she's not walking around holding a grudge against them the way that, you know, they do her. She's not actively looking for ways to like beef with them. It's just they keep doing things. So it's like she just puts them in her place when she like throws a bar at them in a song. Because she knows that like I can outright both of you. Like neither one of you is ever going to be able to come up with any kind of good diss back to me. But she would rather they just leave her alone so that everybody can just go do their own thing and not be worried about each other. But Spirit's saying she'll never work with them, trust them, want to associate with them again after everything that they've done. So yeah, Aquariuses can definitely be cruel like that. I mean, there's a lot of people that can. Look at Drake. He's a Scorpio. Scorpios can be very vengeful. I already answered that question, Pink Flames. What if Tommy is her long lost cousin somehow? That's funny. Um, oh, that's what you were talking about. Okay, BB, sorry. I was so confused. I was like, who's Juicy? I thought you were talking about somebody in the industry. I didn't realize you were responding to somebody in the comments. I was like, oh no, is there somebody named Juicy that's trying to come after Nicki too now? Like, where are all these people coming from? You had me confused. Yeah, make sure you guys put question in front of it so I can the next fashion collab thing that Nicki does, whether it's with Burberry or a different house, I feel like Papa Bear is also going to be a part of that campaign. And I do feel like eventually, you know, there'll be something that they do together. But this is the thing. Nicki, of course, wants to make sure her son's set up for life, but at the same time, she's not going to go trademark his name so he can have his own skincare line at 9 years old like Northwest, because she's not that kind of a mom. So I feel like, you know, it's more... We'll see Nicki doing things that are more kid-friendly so that she can be like, oh, look, I can show my son this movie that I was in because it's a kid's movie and I did the voice for one of the animals, like when she did other, you know, cartoon movies in the past. But she's not going to, like, outwardly be like, this is Papa Bear's crayon, you know, company, and now everybody can order their own crayons that Papa Bear puts out or something like that. So, that's what I thought you were talking about, BB, because I was like, isn't that Moneybagg Yo's ex? So, Ice Spice is already signed, you guys. And let's not do any more Ice Spice questions because I answered some earlier and I already covered a lot of that. I did a separate Ice Spice reading. It's on the channel. You guys can go back and look at that. So, but Juicy Fruit, I just wanted to let you know. I love the name. Juicy is one of my nicknames. So... That's why, like, I used to wear, like, a lot of Juicy Couture stuff because that was my nickname anyway. So I was like, oh, look, it's like it's monogrammed for me already. So, which, by the way, I have to say, I'm so happy that those, like, sweatsuits are coming back because they're hecka comfortable. And I don't care if I look like the cool mom from Mean Girls. I'm going to wear my Juicy sweats because... I like to be cozy and comfy. Okay, can somebody explain to me real quick why is Kenny's ex on the Joe Budden podcast? I saw that on, I think it was Glock Topics page on Instagram. They're a great blog to follow, by the way. And I was like, why is she even on there? Because usually when Joe Budden, like, does interview people, he interviews people that are known. Or, like, if he does it on his own, like, I don't know if you guys have seen, he's done some other interviews. Like, he did, like, some with, like, some 9/11 survivors. So that's why I was like, it's either people who are, like, have an important story to tell, or they're, like, Nicki or Roddy Ricch or somebody that's, like, famous. And so I was so confused, like, why is she even on his page anyways? Because people were just posting the pictures, but there was no context as to, like, why is she even there? So I'll come back to that, though, but I just wanted to see if anybody had any context to it. Oh, it was the YouTube show that he lets Flip run? Okay. Oh, is Joe like doing his own thing like No Jumper does, where he lets people have their own like shows and podcasts on his channel? Which, by the way, expect that person to be the next one to get majorly canceled. Okay. Spirit saying at first, Nikki. I feel like Nikki like barely found out about it because again, she doesn't really, again, like I said, she's not sitting there running around on the internet trying to see what everybody else is up to. And I do feel like her and Joe talked though, and she's okay with it now because she knows what was going on. So, but Spirit saying Joe told Flip that if he was gonna bring her on, there was absolutely no talk about Nicki or Kenny allowed because Joe doesn't want to. He really likes Nicki and he doesn't want to have a problem with her. So she really is. You know what? As much as people again want to drag Kenny, I'm like, listen, all of his exes are like obsessed with him. And he snagged Nicki Minaj. Like, the guy has something going on for him if everybody's so freaking obsessed with him, right? Like, he couldn't be all bad. I think Kenny's cute, too. So, I think Tori's cute. You know, they're on the shorter side. Usually I date taller guys. But I think that they're really attractive, both of them. Just like I actually think Kanye's good looking. It's just that his antics and his personality usually distract you from, you know, paying that much attention to his looks. So, yes, I do think that Nicki and Doechii will collab in the future. I feel like it'll be on Doechii's song, but that's gonna be some fire. I love Doechii. She's one of those girls that's out here that's killing it. She's so talented. The Grammys are never gonna do right by Nicki. But this is the thing, you guys, that I wish just the industry would do in general. Remember when the Golden Globes like didn't nominate like any black people for like 2 years in a row and everybody called them out and said that they weren't going to submit anything for it? And then they didn't even have a Golden Globes show for an entire year and they were forced to have to go change everything that they did and get a new board and come up with new rules and all of that stuff. And the Golden Globes is, you know, that show that everybody always looks to because it's like somebody gets nominated for a Golden Globe, then for sure they're going to get nominated for an Oscar. We need to have the music industry do the same thing to the Grammys. Everybody collectively be like, I'm not submitting any music to this award show. We're not gonna play any longer because y'all just be over here playing in people's faces, picking whoever that, you know, somebody got in your ear and told you that you should pick, or you got paid to give this person an award, because it's all payola and politics. And it's never about who actually put out the best album, who actually had the best song, who actually, you know, is the best artist. And so everybody needs to just collectively sit down and say, we're not participating until you actually play fair with us. That's the only way that the Grammys are going to change. The fact that people are still looking for their validation the fact that people still keep submitting music. Again, I don't like Drake, but he stopped submitting his music for Grammys. The Weeknd stopped doing it. So we need all of the big artists to stop participating so that they'll be forced to have to do things differently. But that's the only way that we can get them to do anything different about it. But they're not going to do anything until everybody sits down and says that this doesn't matter anymore, and we're not, playing these games any longer. So, and hold the questions for a minute, guys, so that way I can get to them. And then just a heads up, we'll do after the next round, we'll take one more round of questions about Nicki, and then after I finish these ones, we'll do one more round on Nicki, and then we'll go on to Carlos, and then I'll have to get off because I pulled a muscle in my back. So if you see me kind of like jerk all of a sudden, it's because if I move wrong, I get my whole arm and back starts like cramping up really bad and hurting. So I need to go try to do something about that. I don't know if I slept wrong or what, but it's progressively gotten worse all day. So I was like, I need to go take some medicine and sit in the bathtub or stretch or something to try to get it to stop because I don't know what happens. Beyonce definitely pays for her awards or has Jay-Z make calls or threaten people. But if you see, she's still never been able to pay for Album of the Year. And I'm not a Beyonce fan. I really honestly don't like most of the music that she puts out. I don't like the way that her and her husband go about things. But she definitely was robbed for Lemonade. I don't think that she deserved any awards for Renaissance, though. Okay, Barbs in the comments. Can somebody let Dope Girl Planet know what happens between Nicki and Lotto? So that way I can answer questions while you guys explain that to her. Because I was like, Nicki has every right to be mad at Lotto. We'll just say that. But dude, I've been saying for a long time that No Jumper needs to get canceled because just the way that he moves and everything, he always gave me bad, creepy vibes in general. And I always knew there's more to this, but obviously certain things we can't talk about on YouTube. Either because I'm not trying to get sued or just because we get censored so much over here, but I am not surprised that the truth is coming out about him and the way that he moves and smuts out his baby mama. It should be no surprise that he seems to be just as creepy as people think he is. And I'll leave it at that, allegedly. Will Nicki do more interviews this year or be on any talk show, late night shows? Yes. And who's replacing Corden? Because isn't this his last year, coming up? They're airing the last episodes or doing his last episodes right now? Because whoever takes his spot, Spirit saying Nicki's going to be on that show a couple times, actually. But we will see her on stuff like that. Honestly, we might see her on SNL, too. Probably more so, early next year. But Spirit said they've already been in talks about it. That'd be fun. Hopefully they have the good writers working that night, because sometimes SNL can be funny and sometimes it's really boring or corny. It just depends on who's writing all of the like skits and stuff. Oh. Juicy, I think Carson was saying bless my back because I said I hurt my back. So, well, I mean, that's true that no artist with over 30 awards was snubbed, but listen, at the time when Beyonce did Lemonade, and I'm saying this, you know, because I'm always fair about things. Even if I don't like you, if you do something that I think was good, I'm still going to give you credit. Like, I can't stand Megan, but she's stunningly beautiful. I'm never going to say, oh my God, she's ugly just because I don't like who she is as a person and the things that she does to people. And at the time, the way that Beyonce put together such a cohesive piece of work, from it telling the whole story that it did, for the visuals, for the arrangements, for all of it to come together from, you know, the start of what happens, you catch your man cheating, and telling it from the perspective of the person that's going through this heartbreak and what you decide to do about it and all of that kind of stuff, and then working through it. That was incredible. Like, I will give her credit for that. Did I ever go back and ever listen to a single song off that album after I watched the Lemonade when it dropped, you know, on HBO? No. But I felt like just for that and the amount of work that she put into it, and it's not like they were horrible songs that I was like, oh my God, fast forward through this, I can't stand to hear it. It's just that I felt like I got what I needed the first time that I watched and listened to it, and I didn't need to go back and like rewatch and re-listen, but I still felt like it deserved to be recognized. Do I think Black is King or Renaissance deserved that? No. But especially at the time, Lemonade was kind of groundbreaking, so that's why I do feel like she did get snubbed that year. But she's gotten awarded for other things since that I didn't feel like she exactly deserved those awards. So I'll just say that. Oh, and Spirit said we'll see Nicki make her way around the daytime talk shows. You know, she was on Ellen a bunch back in the day, like when she had things to promote. And so Spirit said we'll see her on Kelly Clarkson and Jennifer Hudson and Drew Barrymore and whoever else ends up with the show. So, Juicy. Lotto got caught up in the Barbie pin. Oh, that's a good explanation for it. Wait, you guys are calling her laptop? I seen somewhere that somebody called her 77 cents, and then other people were calling her muscle milk. Oh my God. Yeah, but Ellen's horrible, so we don't want Nicki associated with her anymore anyways. You guys can go ahead, and this will be the last round of questions about Nicki, and then we'll get to Carlos and finish up. I didn't like Renaissance at all. It was not my vibe. I mean, if other people like it, that's cool. I'm not like, I don't know. I'm more into the house music, like the Alone sample that Kim Petras is using, and the stuff that was like Cascade, and you know, that was more my era, like house music. But the stuff these days, like, it really isn't my vibe, and I don't really listen to it. So I understand if other people who are fans of house music liked it. You know, I'm not going to shit on it for that. It's just, it wasn't my vibe. But I like more pop era Beyonce, and we haven't gotten that from her in a long time. So you know, that's my thing with it. So I'm trying to think. I think Drunk in Love was like the last one that I really was like, oh yeah, this is a vibe. I like this song, you know. Ever since then, I don't really remember her dropping anything that I was super into. Let's see. Listen, she's gonna scam all of you guys, because what she's gonna do is go out on this tour, then drop Act 2 as soon as the tour is over with the visuals, and then go on another tour in the cities that she didn't go to, then drop Act 3 with visuals for that, and then do the world tour, and then circle back around and do more US dates at that point. So she's gonna get 3 or 4 tours out of you guys on this, and then on top of it, because people are gonna be mad, well, I didn't get to see the other songs from the second and third act in concert, so then they're gonna go she'll make sure that she guarantees that the hardcore fans go see her live multiple times. I mean, she's smart. Listen, Taylor Swift has been doing the biggest and best scams ever. Released 85 versions of the same song so that she dominates the charts, gets re-nominated for new awards for songs that already got nominated for their old version of them, makes new money off of them, because now there's a violin in the background, so we have to go listen to the new version. The next one has a ukulele in it, and so it's just, I mean, she's a smart business person, like, I'll give her credit for that, and her fans eat it up. So there's a lot of Beyonce fans that I've seen online that were saying that basically they were gonna go overseas to see her, because I guess the tickets are cheaper, like in certain countries overseas. And so for the same price that they would have had to pay to like see her in, say, like Washington, D.C. and have like decent seats, like they could go see her in, you know, for example, Amsterdam, and get still a second or third row ticket, cover the flights and the hotels, and it would be the same price, and then they also get a vacation out of it at the same time, which that's smart. I mean, why not? I would rather go to Amsterdam and have a vacation out of it and catch a concert at the same time than pay the same amount of money for only a one-night experience if you still get to see your favorite artist at the same time. So Billboard lets Taylor Swift get away with all of her 85,000 versions of her songs recharting too, but let Nicki do that, and all of a sudden they're going to have some new rule that you can only have one remix, and it has to be 60 days after the original drops or some BS like that. They let other people get away with all kinds of stuff, and then the second that Nicki does anything, it's like, new rule change, and I'm just like, Billboard, what do you have against her? Like, stop. And not only that, but then you make it hard for other fan bases to continue to be able to support their favorite artists too, because the fan bases really take the time to try to understand how things work. So when you keep switching the rules on them, that does affect BTS's fans. It does affect the Taylor Swift fans. It's not, yeah, it affects Nicki the most, but it still affects everybody else, because now everybody has to go relearn all the new rules that you just instated. So Ticketmaster is definitely Honestly, I feel like at this point, the FBI should put some what do you call, some RICO charges and racketeering charges against Ticketmaster, because they really be trying it. Will Nicki have visuals for Queen Radio? Don't be surprised, you guys, if we don't see Queen Radio move to a different platform, because I feel like, I know there was some, I didn't listen, but I heard that there was something that got leaked of Nicki complaining about Amp doing some shady shit to her. I don't know if that's true. I heard people talking about it, but I couldn't find it last night because I just saw somebody say it in a comment on some other video. But Spirit's saying that they've kind of like Spirit saying, because they were using her and using the whole thing of, we want to build this up and we want to make it, because it was kind of like a newer thing and they were trying to, you know, kind of utilize her to make it blow up. There was also a lot of things that she wasn't able to do at the same time, like have visuals or be able to just basically like call in and do it when she wanted to either. And so Spirit saying that, you know, it was kind of hindering her. So I do get that she's probably going to move on. I know YouTube is going to start pushing podcasts and they will have it available through YouTube Music, where you can go to the YouTube Music app and listen to the podcast through there soon. And that's going to be one of the things that they like really push along with the shorts. I wouldn't be surprised if maybe we don't get something like her doing that instead, because then she can do it through her own YouTube channel and just make the streams money on top of if they give her any incentive, you know, to come over and do it. And she would probably end up making more, and then she has complete ownership of it. And then if she wants to, she can do visuals. She can hop on and do it whenever she wants, and there won't be any limitations. So don't be surprised if she ends up moving it, but it really is just because, you know, they're kind of messing with her. Does it have audio issues sometimes? You know what? I usually end up listening to it reloaded on like YouTube or somewhere else, because I had issues trying to download AMP and get it signed in fully. So that's why I just gave up on it and listened to it when it got reloaded somewhere else. I know. I hope she does create her own platform. Isaac Hayes III has fan base that he created. He should work on something with her. And like, you guys, imagine if Nicki came out with her own social media app. I don't think she is, but I'm just saying. Imagine if she did, how like fucking awesome that would be. And she could just go on there and it's just like only Barbs are on there and it's just only Nicki. We just completely like, that would be so awesome. So last call for questions, guys, and then you're gonna move on. There's a website link you can use. Okay, I'll have to try it through that way, because I was like, I have an iPhone, but I just couldn't get it to freaking work. And I was like, what the hell, Amazon? Like, if you want people to support this, freaking make it work. Oh, and as far as the other question about, like, will the industry try to mess with her people on her labels? Spirit saying no, because only because if they do, it'll be too obvious, you know, because they always try to play it up like Nicki's paranoid and she's just, you know, saying that everybody's after her and she just likes to complain. But if they did sabotage the artist that she has signed, then it's like, obviously everybody would be able to see it and she could prove it and say, look, no, you guys do. So, and also, guys, if anybody did want to book their own personal private reading with me, you can go to psychicbellalove.com and use code Easter for $15 off any appointment. And if you guys are celebrating Easter or Ramadan, happy to you. Forgot to say that earlier also. I didn't know YB had a podcast. Will Nicki collab with Eminem again? Yeah, they're just, you know, it's like with everything with Nicki, it just has to be the right song for both artists. I know. Well, the whole reason why I don't use Station Head is because Offset and Carlos and Megan messed that up for me, so I had to leave. That's why we're on Patreon instead now. It was fun while it lasted. That nosy person, whatever, I don't even want to say their name, she's just dragging shit out. It's gonna be another Tasha K, Cardi B situation. You know, I mean, if you guys have, like, I've watched this going on. I check in on Messy YouTuber's channel because she's really been staying on top of, you know, any of the court stuff when it comes to either Janitor and Kenny or Sloppy Slow, and her case with Nicki. And yeah, they had them sabotage my channel behind the scenes. So they kept coming in when we were on and listening to us, and then I started getting harassed and my whole channel got messed up. So I left before they could kick me off. But anyways, if you guys haven't noticed, it's like she's trying to follow Tasha K's playbook where she still tries to, you know, get online and be like, oh, like, I'm not paying and she's not suing me. And then she, like, submits the most, like, ridiculous things back to the court with the worst, you know, done paperwork and everything. Same way with Tasha, because remember, Tasha was like, oh my God, like, I have the best lawyers, these high-powered Jewish attorneys, and then she showed up with Olga, who was the biggest disaster that ever existed in life as a lawyer. I was like, she made Elaine in Amber Heard's trial look like she was the most competent attorney that anybody could have ever gotten. And Slow is the same. I refuse to say her name. I call her Sloppy Slow. And so she's just doing this, pulling the same antics. And really it's because she's trying to kind of slow things down because she feels like if she keeps dragging it out, because obviously everybody knows she doesn't have any money. You know, Nicki suing her is basically just to make her shut up because Nicki's not going to get anything out of this girl. I mean, what has she got? 84 cents to her name to give to Nicki. But she you know, it's $15 off, Lindsay, but thank you so much for doing that. I appreciate it. But she, what do you call? She figures that if she just keeps dragging it out, that at some point Nicki's gonna say, oh, this is costing so much in lawyers' fees. Let's just make her sign a don't talk about me agreement and drop the lawsuit, and then everybody goes on with their day. she is sadly mistaken if she thinks that she's going to wait Nicki out and Nicki's going to do that. So Nicki's at the point where she's just like, you talked about my child. I mean, that's the thing. If you were just talking about me, I would let it go. Like, think about it. How many people have just talked shit about Nicki for years and she's not responded and didn't sue them? But when they say outright lies about her, when they attack her family, and when they're dragging her child into it, then no, bitch, you're not doing this anymore. And so that's what she gets. So anyways, that's basically what's going on there, but she's still continuing to see it through. I don't feel like Nicki is gonna sue academics. Spirit's saying academics has been trying to make up with Nicki, and he's trying to kiss her butt and get her on his show to interview her. Don't be surprised if we don't see her go on with him the same way that she did with Joe Budden, but make him publicly apologize to her when she does. And I think that she's being strategic about stuff. Certain people who went way too far, I'm suing, and then the other ones, I'm going to make them my footstool and make them publicly apologize to me, just so that way she can show people, look, game time is over. So yeah, Nicki definitely has patience, and it's chess, not checkers with her. So hey, Bree. All right, guys, let's wrap it up with the Nicki and move on to Yolanda Saldivar Jr. What questions do you have about her? I feel like I might need a glass of wine after this one. It was like touching in her nasty energy. Nicki does have cute feet. Like I said earlier, we're not doing any pregnancy or substance questions, so I'm not answering that one. Will she get dropped from Atlantic? Yes, after... If she keeps stalling on releasing any more music, honestly, what they will do, you guys, is just, because she's in a 360. So basically, when somebody is in a 360, every single thing that you do, they make money off of it. So if she decides, I'm not going to put out any more music, but I'm going to go to start doing a bunch of movies instead, they're not going to drop her, because legally then they still get to take part of whatever she makes from those movies. It's like the IRS garnishing your wages, basically. Because at the end of the day, Atlantic wants to recoup their money. Once they've recouped it, or at least enough of it, then she will get dropped. But the only reason why they have not or will not immediately is because they went so far into debt with her, trying to build her up into the superstar that she wasn't, and paying for placement on, billboards, buying her awards and all of that stuff, that they're deep in debt with her, and they need to recoup that money at some point somehow. So don't think that because she hasn't gotten dropped from them yet that it means that they still have hope in her. They're just more like, get out and work in any capacity that you can, because your loan payments are due. And we're going to put a lien on your damn house if you don't start paying us. So, will she be under witness protection? No. No, she's definitely not doing music 20 years from now. I mean, come on. I would be surprised if she's even still doing music 3 years from now. Will Glorilla and Cardi B fall out? Carlos is going to try to do anything and everything she can not to have any falling outs with any artists. Because this is the thing, guys. If she starts doing that, then the tides can turn on her so bad that, number one, she won't have anybody's clout train to ride off of. Number two, they might expose her and tell everybody that she made them take her side against Nicki. Number three, then people can start saying, oh, she's the bully of the industry. And she knows all that, and that's why she's trying to avoid it. Is she ever going to get her money from Tasha K? Heck no. Although I do have to say that was a very good April Fool's joke that Tasha made. I don't know if you guys saw it. She said that she paid her debt in full in cash. But no, Tasha's going to continue to do whatever she can to make sure that Carlos doesn't get any money from her. I mean, Tasha doesn't have $4 million to give her anyways, let's be honest. And honestly, you guys, I wouldn't be surprised if Tasha doesn't pop back up with better lawyers and take it to, like, the highest appellate courts that she can to try to get that overturned. So, but she's definitely not going, she will do anything and everything she can to not pay her. Oh, Carlos is definitely going to have her tower card moment, though. Lindsay, she's never going to be done getting the surgeries because now you have to maintain them. But Spirit's saying that she kind of fell down a rabbit hole of, I went so deep into it and now it's like I have to maintain it. I have to keep up with it. Certain things, I want them to be changed. You know, and so expect that she'll have more. Also, you guys, do you not realize, too, I was thinking about this the other day, everybody else went and started getting their BBLs taken out, and she went and got another one. I was like, she's just always behind now. She's always behind on all the trends, isn't she? Oh, they definitely are having financial issues. Big time. Bubbles, I went into that on the video that I just put up about Carlos's sophomore album. So I'm not going to answer that so that we can get to other people's questions since I'm going to try to get off of here in the next 10 minutes. But her and Offset are both pretty broke right now, guys. When was the last time Offset made money? He hasn't put anything out. QC's suing him. Like, he's always in his own legal problems. Hey, Tamira. They've fallen out before. I'm not going to say his name out loud because it's like saying Bloody Mary and nobody wants to summon him over here. But they have, if you guys don't remember, they fell out before because he told everybody that Megan got drunk and aggressive at her birthday party and tried to fight Kylie, and then they had to kick Megan out. And then she got mad at him for telling people that because she didn't want him telling people what was going on. And I think that party happened during the pandemic also, when they were kind of trying to keep it under wraps, because it's like, oh, like, you know, like the rest of us couldn't even like go to Target or do anything unless you absolutely had to, and they were throwing parties. And so they didn't talk for like 6 months, and he was being kind of shady towards her then. And then all of a sudden, because he was being shady towards her, like she ran to go make up with him. Spirit said they will definitely have another big blowout, and he'll give her a couple months. She's going to think that she's safe. And then everybody's going to wake up one day and he's just going to be on the internet telling everybody her business the way he does with everybody. He always turns on everybody and exposes them. It's same thing as Drake. Why do people trust him? So let's see. She'll turn on Armand at some point too, because Armand, you know, even though sometimes he can be a little aggressive in taking people's sides, there's also the part of him that likes to tell the truth. And so, you know, when he did the same thing with Lotto, like everybody thought he was like super duper like on Lotto's side. And then, you know, he said some things about her that she got pissed about, and then they got into it. The same thing will happen with Carlos, especially if she puts out new music and then he just tells the truth and says that he's not into it. She'll flip out. They'll get in a huge fight. So, do Cardi think Tory is innocent? Spirit said that she doesn't even care either way. She's very selfish and self-centered and more into everything that, I mean, let's be honest, she was probably more worried about if Offset was cheating on her that week than paying attention to the trial. Who's her replacement? I don't think it's necessarily like who exactly is her replacement per se. I would say it's more that the industry in general has chosen to elevate other girls at this time. Coi Leray and Ice Spice being two of them. And at the same time, like I've said a few other times on here, you know, her own label is prioritizing artists like Don Toliver, Lizzo, Jack Harlow, because they actually do put out albums. They actually do go on tours, and people actually do like their music and do buy it and do stream it. And so it's more beneficial as a label for them to support those artists than her. And you guys, remember too, when you get a signing bonus or an advance, so if you get signed to a record label and say they give you a 3-album deal with a $5 million advance, if you don't make enough money off of that first album to exceed that $5 million advance that they gave you, then your budget for the next 2 albums, if say that you used $3 million of that $5 million advance on your first album and you only made, you know, 2 million of it back, then that means that you're in debt to them for $1 million and there's $2 million left on that advance. Well, then there goes, you're down to $1 million. And so that $1 million budget has to cover those next 2 albums. Imagine how much Carlos is in debt, because Spirit said she definitely used up whatever advance they gave her. They went ahead and put more money into her. So the budget that they are giving her for this next album and rollout is very small. If we do see her put out any kind of visuals that look expensive, she will be paying for those herself in hopes that it helps push the single, or if it's a collaboration, it's because whatever other artist she worked with, their label is paying for that. But if Atlantic had their way, they'd give her $20,000 and she'd be shooting all of her albums behind a dumpster with Offset's iPhone, because and we'd hear all the little iPhone notifications going off in the background from all of the girls he cheats with texting him back if they're busy or not tonight. While she's standing there doing this to all of whatever she's rapping along. So, but I'm just saying, you know, those are really how the business works. And so that's how it goes. They're not depending on Cardi for anything, BB. They have Lizzo and Jack Harlow and Don Toliver. Those artists are actually making the money right now. So even though they lost YB, they're making it back on Lizzo. But that's also why I said, because they've lost some of their bigger name artists, those bigger ones that they do still have, they're pouring all their energy into them because they're the money makers. They're not pouring it into the money wasters like Carlos at this point. So, okay, so let's stop the Carlos questions, and I am going to ask the cards. The burning most important question is, does she regret? No more questions, guys. Does she regret messing with the queen, and what does Spirit and the cards have to say about that? Just wait, because when her and the person who shall not be named, the Candyman, Bloody Mary, whatever you want to call them, once they have their falling out of sorts, we will see that he will probably be one of the main ones that exposes a lot of the BS and payola and things like that that went into all of this. And guys, if you didn't already, please make sure to like the live. We have 100 people in here and 69 likes. It really, truly does help my channel. So, and we will be back doing live readings on Saturdays. Of course, we'll do other people, you know, but at least once a month we'll include Nikki in. So it's just sometimes, you know, it's like if she doesn't have anything going on, then we don't have a lot to look at. And sometimes other people do have things that we want to look at too. So, but let's see what these cards have to say about her feelings towards Nikki and all that she did. Okay. Oh my God, that hurts my back so hard to laugh like that, but oh my goodness. Okay, this is so funny. Number one, she feels like the person who signed her at Atlantic, you know, because obviously it was an executive or a team of people that came in, that they came in promising her the world, obviously. We're going to make you the world's biggest superstar. We're going to put all this money into you, but you You're going to be rich. Everybody's going to love you. We just need you to turn on Nicki, and we're going to put you in her spot. Now she feels like this is all their fault. And she spent so much time being mad at them because I am not getting what I want out of my career. Like, people don't really buy the stuff that I put out. Every time I do put out a song now, everybody's criticizing it. Every time that I release something, people don't buy it. I'm getting calls and being told that I need to make $129 million to pay back to Atlantic, and I don't know how I'm going to do that. See, this, Carlos, is why we always say the devil is a lie. The Bible itself tells you he will promise you everything, let you have a little taste of it, and then rip it all away from you and leave you with nothing except for shame. Oh, wait, I'm sorry. She's too busy doing dark magic on people than reading her Bible. I highly suggest you get back to reading the Bible. Get back right with God before it's too late, Carlos. Oh, wait, you can't because you and your husband sacrificed Takeoff. That's why I keep telling y'all, stop blaming Quavo for that. Quavo didn't need to sacrifice anybody, but Offset and Carlos both did. They had things that they needed. They both have failing careers. They're both constantly in legal battles. Quavo was well liked and had all these opportunities and was doing fine. Why would he need to sacrifice his nephew? So have fun burning in hell when you die, Carlos. Anyways, she really feels like she's trapped. Oh, yeah, I said that too, that Quavo was actually the one that was supposed to be the target. And him and Takeoff had a spiritual pact that if something like this happened, he would go first. But now she's feeling trapped. I was tricked and trapped into this. I never wanted to go beef with this lady anyways. It was only fun while it lasted. And now every time I work hard, I mean, you know, Carlos's version of I work so hard is the same as Kim Kardashian's. You show up and put on clothes that other people made and stand around and take pictures. Like, how hard is that? But it always ends up backfiring on me. People are not receiving it well. Of course, Offset's trying to hype her up and lie to her because he needs somebody in the damn house to make some money before they go broke. She deeply regrets every single thing that has happened deep down inside. But this is the thing. I've told you guys before, there was a conversation in the past that Nicki and her had in like the somewhat recent past. They agreed to put everything behind them and that they just were going to leave each other alone or even possibly collaborate. Carlos decided that she couldn't let things be and couldn't be in a good place because the only way that she's gotten attention is by throwing jabs. That lasted for about 5.5 seconds, and then she got online and started fighting with Barbs and throwing jabs, and so Nicki was like, okay, go fuck yourself. And she knows that she completely fucked that up because, you know, it's talking about there was this trying to work things out together, but I screwed it up, so that went out the door. And so now we're done. There's no coming back from this. And I need money. And that would have been my big money maker. And I really fucked that up. She regrets it so bad. So bad. So, boop, boop, boop. What do we expect? That's why we say the devil is a liar. And you sacrifice somebody for a career that won't work out. The reason why, let's be honest, the Migos were so great was because of Takeoff. Because of the vibe of the three of them together. It's not the same. And this is the thing. At least Quavo has some kind of a decent personality and he's like kind of attractive. And he can act. Offset can't do any of that. Quavo's the one that's going to go on to have a better career. But that's why, like, Offset knows that and he was desperate. I mean, Quavo, even if you don't like his own music, he does write a lot of songs behind the scenes for other artists, if you guys didn't know that. So, and that's where the real money is anyways. He's getting into acting. He's got a bunch of projects coming out. Offset's not getting those opportunities. And he's not going to because karma's just eating his ass up. So, and if you guys ever want to know more about the evilness of Hollywood, you can join the Patreon. It is patreon.com/psychicbellalove. Because we have to be careful when we talk about this kind of stuff over here. We get censored so bad. And it's not something that you can just be like, guess what? You know, put two and two together when you talk about that stuff. So we keep all of that over on the Patreon. But I don't like Quavo either. And Whitney, my cat, definitely doesn't like him. But I'm just saying the general public in general likes him much more. So, you know, but yeah, I was like, at this point, good luck to both of them. Hi, Olo, how are you? So, does Saturdays work for you guys for lives? It's so much easier for me because then my kiddo is usually with his dad, so I can spread out in here. I will be moving sometime in the next 6 or 7 months, and hopefully I find a place that has a really good space for me to have my own office and studio set up. I'm manifesting that so I don't have to be limited to when and how and where I can do lives and record videos, but for now we kind of have to be creative sometimes. So, but it was like Saturday works so much better for me, you know, just because then I don't have to, you know, I feel bad because it's like if I'm in my room, I don't have the space to like have the camera and the light set up and everything and still have a space to do everything at. So then that's where I kind of get limited to having to not be on camera. But I don't want to lock him in his room for 2 hours either. So, I mean, I don't. I'm just saying, you know, like I don't want to do that. So, okay. Well, that's good. I'm glad that that works for you guys too. So, awesome. And I will have videos coming up, if not every single day of this week, most days this next week. Just not tomorrow because it's Easter, obviously, but Monday through Friday. I'm trying to get back into the consistency game because I did miss it. It's just, it was hard because kiddo, you know, when he broke his leg, he had to have surgery, and then we had to go to all these physical therapy appointments and doctor's appointments and everything else. So it took up a lot of time last year. Oh, he loves it. He's psychic too, so he actually predicted the pandemic, and we had gone to the mall, and he made me go to Bath and Body Works and buy like all of they were having a sale on the hand sanitizers. And usually I'll buy like, 5 or 6 of them at a time or something, so that he has them for his backpack at school. But he was like, Mom, no, you have to buy so many. And he wanted to use all of his money that he had saved up for something else for them. And he kept saying, Mom, I just feel like we're not going to be able to get hand sanitizer soon, but everybody's going to need it because everybody's going to be sick. And then 2 months later, we had the pandemic. So, yeah, it was like, he loves it. Oh, and let me tell you, I will literally be sitting there in the morning, like making his breakfast, and he'll be like, Mom, your video went live. Let me go like it. Because, like the videos that I schedule to go up at 6 a.m., he has the notifications on and he goes and likes all the videos. And if you ever see an account called Ronald McDonald's, leave comments like beans or anything like that. That's my kid. Half trolling me, half supporting me. Because he's a 12-and-a-half-year-old boy, so there's a part of him that's proud of his mom, but then there's also that part of him that's like, I still gotta be sarcastic and troll you a bit too, but he's the boy version of me. So yes, I do nourish his abilities, and he's definitely a sweetheart. And let me tell you, it was like, Whitney is a Leo, Kiddo is a Sagittarius. Thank God I'm a Leo rising and I have a Sagittarius stellium, because between the two of them, if I was just like a Libra with a bunch of Taurus in my chart or something, I would get my feelings hurt all the time because they'd be eating my ass up. But I just be joining in the pettiness and sarcasm with them, so it works. But otherwise, I would definitely probably cry a few times a day. Whitney definitely is. It's so funny. She's got such a personality on her, and people are always like, where did she learn her pettiness or her sarcasm from? I'm like, you would literally think that somehow I gave birth to that cat myself, because she does not forget when she doesn't get her way, and she will definitely be petty. Like, she'll go in Kiddo's room and knock all the shit off his desk like 2 days later because she's mad at something he did 2 days before that. So it's funny. And she hates my baby daddy, so that's a bonus too. Oh, me and the cat definitely had a bunch of past lives together, and me and my kid for sure did. So I was supposed to have a twin brother in this lifetime, and I very firmly believe and know that he was supposed to be my twin brother, dipped out and came back and chose to be my kid instead, which I will take that and prefer that way anyways, because I got lucky with him. But I also got lucky with you guys. You guys are all amazing. And I love you all so much. If you didn't already, please hit the like button on the way out. I will be back next Saturday to do another live. But in the meantime, we will have pre-records up most of the week. I hope everybody has a good Sunday, guys. Happy Easter if you are celebrating. Happy Ramadan if you are celebrating. If you're not celebrating any holidays, just have a great Sunday. I wish everybody abundance, peace, happiness, all good things. I love you all so much. And again, to everybody who supports me, I will never, ever, 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 ever forget it. I appreciate it so much. And I especially appreciate all the Barbs who worked just as hard as me to get this channel to where it is. I literally could cry just thinking about it. You guys mean so much to me, so thank you so much for that. And I hope everybody has a good one. And I'm going to go because I'm starting to cry and I don't want to cry on camera. Bye, guys.